Hello, friends. Hi. All right. Making sure I'm on. I think we're good. Yes, we're good. So let me mute myself over here. Hi. So I'm Audrey. I am in San Francisco. Well, I'm actually in Benicia. We went to the burbs, but typically I live in San Francisco and I have a spa there. And we started off as a waxing boutique. So brows are my jam. I have been dying for this event because I've been letting my brows get grown out. I have like sad girl brows. I'm never going to have the Brooke Shield brows. And there are many different tastes in brows, okay? There's full, like bold brows. There are thin brows. I think there can be beauty in all brows. God, of course, my kids are screaming. They were loud for both of the other two presenters. I think that there can be some great looks out there, but we can't grow brow hair where there is not brow hair, right? So we want to work with what we got, and I want to give you a symmetrical look and to bulk up where we can. We can kind of fake it a little bit. As you see, my brows are thin, all right? And I have some brows here, but kind of what you want is you want to create the illusion, if you can, of a little bit longer and a little bit thicker. The other thing is I have like long brow hairs, but they're sparse. So when you look here, I have so few hairs here, but it's thicker here. All right. Same with this side. We always say brows are sisters, not twins. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to use tweezers, which most of you probably know how to use tweezers, but I will give some tips on that. And we're going to use a little spoolie. And we're going to use, let's see, I keep getting a ping over here. I want to make sure I'm actually posting. It's making me nervous because I don't see anybody in. Am I in the right spot? Am I in the right spot? I think so. All right. If you guys, yes. Okay. If you guys are here, there. Now I'm seeing some. Okay, cool. So thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Caitlin. My internet's really crummy here too. So typically, if you were a client in my chair, I would do some light tweezing, maybe waxing, and I would also be like, girl, we're tinting you. I'm going to show some ways to add color, and I use these at my spa too. This is something that is such a great compliment to any brows. And what I often get is people are too scared to use a colored brow gel or a pencil. And blondes think they're too scared to use it because they don't want to have all of a sudden these bold brows. And then brunettes and darker brow hair people think, well, I already have dark hair. I don't need to use this. It's going to be too bold. Color makes everything better when it comes to brows, okay? The other thing that is really worth its weight in gold are just a simple pair of brow tweezers. And I like ones that have a slight tint. If you can tilt, they're a little bit bent. That makes it easier. You're not going to scratch yourself. You're not going to hurt yourself. Okay. So we're going to start out with just kind of going in. And when you want to tweeze, we don't want to over tweeze, right? We can always take more hair. We can't put more back. So I kind of am going to comb out the shape that I know that I want it. And when you're looking for where to tweeze, everyone's going to have kind of a natural line that you want to follow and see where it's going to be the most even. Now you can see I've got like, it looks like I have kind of like doo-doo. I have hair there. It's just like clear. So when I'm going to color it, I'm going to color that to be kind of a straight line to make them a little bit more even. But I want to kind of see where my line is, and we tend to have one brow that's the stronger brow. Today, right now, this is my stronger brow. Look at this bad boy. It's got like waves going on in it. So we're just going to come in, and when you're doing the tweezing in the middle, you want to just do like sparse tweezing. And as a blondie, you're going to have like not big hair, like intense hair, but you're going to have little fuzzies that you'll be able, man, it's hard to see, but you can see there's like little fuzzies there, right? So get out the fuzzies. Don't go too close here because one or two, too many hair, all of a sudden your brow's too short, okay? So just get like the vellus hair, all right? This is maintaining, this is not like you don't need your brow girl anymore. I'm not trying to put any estheticians out of a job, but this is to make it so you don't feel like Chewbacca. And typically when your person does it, they're gonna put like a strip here and they're not gonna go right up on the line just to get that fuzz in, and then they'll go in and get the little spare hairs. So just kind of get those little extra spare hairs. If there's one or two unruly that are kind of going there, get it. But you always wanna step back from the mirror and make sure you're not going in past the eye, all right? Same thing with the tips, because it can be easy to be like, oh, I've got like one here, let me take it. But that could really make that solid line there. And I'm not sure, I have an old phone, so I don't know how great this is, but just like the pimple popping video last week, you guys are getting a real great skin analysis, so up close and personal. But as you see, I do have a little bit of hair to work with. That's what we're working with. So if I take these, all of a sudden, my brows end right here, right? We want to create that illusion to go longer. So when I'm coming in, I'm just going to take any of the spare hairs, which you guys know how to do that, right? Like any of these bad boys you can do. So we're just going to take a couple spare hairs, and really the difference of one or two here can create that perfect line. What you want to avoid is going in too much here and creating the apostrophe brows where it kind of creates like a ball. And this is really common when people do it at home because they like get tweezer happy and they start going in, right? Like I could easily go, oh, well, let me take that. And then before I know it, I'm like, oops. And then you're thick and then thin. So you want to create a line so there isn't like a curve or a head. You want to make it so when you kind of go, you're like, okay, am I following my line? And with me, I'm kind of following my line, but I see there is one hair that's just obvious there. So I'm going to get that one hair. And you will too, and you'll decide. Maybe that one hair, maybe you have belief that you're going to grow that, so you want to leave it. This is the time to leave it too. If you have been waiting to grow out your brows, do it. Don't touch them. Turn me off. But see, I really probably only plucked like maybe 10 hairs with those little fuzzies and this guy here. The place to do this, you guys, is in your car when you look in the rear view mirror. That's when I see all of I'm like, oh my God, I need to do my brows. I just did my makeup and I didn't notice anything. And you look in the rearview mirror and they're all there. That's like the funnest place to do it. But for the effort of time, I'm not going to take you out to my car. But what I do want to show you is how to trim, because trimming can give all the help in the world. So when we trim, remember I said it's tilted? We're going to have it tilted away. Now I'm like not looking in the mirror. So you're going to comb it down and then you're going to comb it up. And that's kind of where you see where the excess is. Mine is going to be a good example because if you over trim, don't get trim happy, because you can also trim holes in it. So for me, I have like a comb over. I leave mine a little bit longer here so that they can give that illusion of like a deeper arch. All right. So just go in and you're going to trim just a little bit extra. I should have really set it up so I had a mirror behind here, because this is not. Don't do your brows in your phone camera. That's a really good tip. And just kind of get the extra hairs. Fuck, I need a mirror. Okay. So then, I can feel a lot like fluffing down on me. So then comb up. And if you want to do extra, I know my comb over, so I'm going to avoid this right now. But and you can see, look at all that hair that just came off. Like, that's significant hair trimmage, right? It's going to make it a lot less unruly, because like when I wake up, I swear to God, you guys, my eyebrows are like this. And it's like, my husband's like, why are your brows so bushy? You've got like 20 brows hairs. I'm like, I don't know. I don't sleep on my face. I don't know what's going on. They're just like crazy. So trimming them can really help to just keep it so that they're not possible to get that unruly, right? The other thing is, a lot of people have curly brow hair, and it's not curly, but it kind of like is 3D. It pops out. So trimming will help with that as well. Now, I'm going to leave this one so you guys can kind of see the before and after, but I'm not going to leave it like in its worst state All right. Now to move on to the color. Okay, so I've tweezed a little bit, and you'll go in closer. When I'm in the mirror, I'm sure I can see a couple more hairs. There's gonna be more, but most of them for me are pretty blonde. So some people might not use both. I'm gonna use both just so you can see it. Now, if you don't have these types of this tool, which depending on if you like get your brows done, your girl might just give you one. This is a spoolie. It's like spot. You can buy it at like any spa or beauty company, but they're gonna come in like a pack of 50. Or you can get the beauty counter pencil. I fell in love with this because it has a spoolie on one end, so you can just grab and go. Make sure whatever brow color you're using is not too dark. So this beauty counter does have a light, a medium, and a dark. I could go up to medium, but then they're going to be a lot bolder. I think always err on the side of lighter. And you want to make sure it's sharp when you're going. It's going to make it a lot easier. And I'm going to use it like on its side as opposed to straight up, right? I'm not coloring. I'm like shading in. Think of it like shading. And once again, that line I talked about, you're just going to kind of follow your line, real wispy, real light strokes, okay? And think of like you're making the strokes of a brow. You're not coloring in the shape of a brow. That makes sense. You're not trying to color in a solid brow. You're just creating little tiny lines to mimic the shape of a brow, okay? And this brush is going to come in handy again too because it's going to soften it. So then we go here and then we want to kind of create that arch, and I do like 1 or 2 strokes to go down, and guess what? Now my brows go as long as I want them to, right? And I'm going to just go in again, and I'm going to kind of brush it over, make sure the hair is in line there. And now I have a much more polished brow. But you can see it kind of stops there, and now I have this like line. So if I don't want that line anymore, you can soften it, or you can balance it out. All right. So I'm going to balance that out a little bit. And where I have like a bald spot is basically here. So this just kind of helps to fill that in, right? It's not making my brows significantly darker. It's just balancing out where the darkest is. Because if you look, this has no color in it, but it's basically the same color, right? It's just making it even, and you're bringing that sisters not twins, and you're making them a little bit more, you're dressing them the same way, okay? So that's gonna add the balance to it. The other bad boy that really helps if you have a much, I always talk about like these big luscious brows. I do not have big luscious brows, but I'll look in the mirror in a couple hours, and that example I showed, like I'm like, what did I do? Like anything touches my face, they kind of get out of place. So that's where brow gel comes in. It doesn't have to be beauty counter brow gel. As you guys know, beauty counter's a plus because it's clean and safe, and brow gel can have some nasty stuff in it similar to mascara, but you can find brow gel anywhere. So this has a much smaller head than mascara normally would. Let me see if I can show just for an example. So you have a lot more control over it. Like this is a mascara wand. This is the brow wand. Okay. So you have a lot more control. So it's a little bit less scary. You're not going to be depositing a ton of color. So you can play with it. And same kind of thing. You kind of want to go wispy, 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 and then use it to like glue down where you want it. And I'm saying glue. It's not going to really be like glue, but it's just a light gel. So it's going to help to hold it in place. Now it's going to get a little bit darker because now I have the colored pencil and the colored gel on here. This gel is the light gel. We have several colors of gel as well. And there is a clear one. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I could use the gel because they get out of place, you can get a clear one. But on days when I don't feel like doing both, I can use this gel and I can, comb it how I need it. But then where I need those extra deposits of color, like I had said at my end, right? Or here, I can just kind of like put a little dollop where I need it and then blend it. And that's going to hold my brows in place all day. So I'm not going to have, this accidentally happen and not notice it until I go to take a selfie or look in the rearview mirror and I'm like, why do I have devil brows? How come no one told me that this is just like floating around like that, right? So hopefully that was helpful. And now last but not least is for all of my face waxers. I have so many people that are religious lip waxers or chin waxers. My mom is one. This bad boy. All right. I am not in the camp of purely being convinced on the dermaplaning yet, but there is a time and a place, okay? And right now I'm going to give people permission to shave their face, because how I went in like this and got all those little fuzzies, you're probably not going to want to do that on your lip. And you probably can't see whatever you have here to do that. Like most of us, there's probably plenty of you that are going to be like, I don't have that. But even me, I'm not a very hairy person, but I have a few random ass hairs. Like I'll have one hair that just grows longer here, one over here I'm like, what? I'm growing whiskers. So I'll go in and I'll just pluck whatever that is, right? If you can see that in the mirror, if you can handle it. If you have like 30 plus whiskers, like you need to be a waxing client. But this little guy, you can get these at Walgreens, you can get these at Target, you can find them on Amazon. They're super safe razors. I like cannot get behind getting a Bic and just shaving my face. Perhaps it's because that is a direct competition to my business, which is, a waxing spa. So I have been brainwashed. I'm going to get as close as I can to you guys on like, don't shave. I think the occasional like this will not really make your hair grow back thicker. When you shave your armpits or you shave your legs versus waxing them, when they grow back, that's growing back from where it got cut off. So it's going to grow thicker and those roots are going to be more established, where when you wax it, it's going to grow back baby fine, and it's going to slowly over time weaken that hair follicle. So you're going to be producing less hair to come back. And for the longest time, I was like, dermaplaning, you're going to like get a 5 o'clock shadow. I don't think it's really going to give you like a 5 o'clock shadow, because our hormones aren't changing. We're not going to turn into a man where we're producing like a beard. But I think long term, I think doing it every single month or doing it, every week, depending on people's hair growth and needs, I think that waxing or threading or sugaring is going to be a better bet, because you really want to slow down that hair growth, and shaving or dermaplaning or whatever is going to not be doing that. It's not going to be taking the hair out by the root. And so I think that like the occasional dermaplaning, no biggie. But I think that there's like way more efficient, way more effective ways to get what the other side effect of dermaplaning is, taking the hair off, but also an exfoliation. I mean, like our new overnight peel is going to give you a way nicer exfoliation than like this little razor, right? Like think like when you shave your legs, they're smooth because there's no hair, but like you get a way better scrub if you use a sugar scrub and then shave, right? Than just like shaving. It's not like, oh, my body's so well exfoliated. So if you use this, I think the most common areas, and I'm also not an expert on dermaplaning. There are people that love it. There is someone in our group, Deanna, who does an awesome training on dermaplaning. So if you want to do that, like check her out. She's got some really great information, okay? I am using this while I cannot wax. And I would say areas here, and there's so many blondies that all have come into the spa and go, I don't have to wax, do I? Like, can you actually see this hair? I'm like, if you can see it, I can see it. But if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. For me, I wax like once a month, once every 2 months. I don't really wax a whole lot. But when I start to notice it, I notice it. And it's always like more right here than anywhere else. So I squirted. You would want to do this on a clean face. Clearly, I have makeup on. So I'm going to take just a little bit of toner to like cleanse this area. And I use a lot of tint skin around my lips because of the hyaluronic acid. It helps to like plump it up and hide fine lines and wrinkles. So you're going to see I have a lot of makeup on right there. Okay. So when you're doing this, shave down. Don't shave the way you shave your legs where you think like against. Shave with the grain, okay? This is very gentle, but it is still a razor blade, all right? So you're going to want to have the skin tight. So however that works for you. Which means I'm going to have to shut my mouth and stop talking for a second. And I want you guys to be able to see the fuzz, which is kind of hard. But you're just going to go down, and then you're going to kind of go to the side, okay? All right. So if you can see on there, I got kind of a lot of hairs. Ugh, can't see it. But I did not get all of them, all right? So I'm going to kind of go sideways. And I don't think that it's not okay to go up, but I think you can get a lot of it without going up, and it's not going to be as irritating to the pores. My skin's already getting slightly irritated from that. When you go up, it's going to be kind of pulling at the pores. So just be prepared for that. For this instance only, I wish my face hair was black because there's really a lot on here, but it's hard to tell. You're going to have to take my word on it, okay? There's a whole lot of fuzzies on there, but it's very hard to see at the moment. The other area that I get down with is right here, what would be my goatee, and to just kind of clean that up, you'll usually get like, whoa, I've got a lot of hair there I didn't know about. So that will help keep it smooth. If you feel it and it feels prickly, then I would work almost straight up, kind of at an angle and then down. All right. If you're doing it here, then I would do the same thing. I would go down, 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 because hair on your cheek is growing in all different ways. It's growing in all different directions. Okay, so I would kind of go down, 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 and then you rinse it. That's the other thing I'm not doing is you want to like rinse it, clean it off, and then I would come up, up, up. All right. I warn you, it's addicting. You're going to end up shaving your whole face with this because you're going to see the hair and be like, I wonder, and just go crazy. So just be prepared. You're probably going to end up shaving your face. Do your brows first. Don't shave. Don't shave around here. Keep that plucked and get your brows done first so you're not tempted to be like, well, I'm just going to shave all here. Hopefully that's helpful. This tool, it doesn't even have a name on it, but if you put in Amazon, I'll put a link in the comments to this one because I'm pretty sure I bought this one on Amazon. And I'll see if I can find these if you guys have any questions. Tweezer Man, I think, makes the best tweezers. They have a really good warranty. And my choice, because there's so many different tweezers out there, is the slanted tip because this side's going to be really sharp. So if you ever need it for other things, extractions or whatever, you can use it. I wouldn't go with the pure point tip because then you have to have like the steadiest hand to be able to get that. I think that the slanted tweezers are the safest, dummy proof way. If it's too flat, a lot of like the cheaper, I mean, these are kind of expensive. They're like, I don't know, $19. They're not that expensive. But some of the other ones are going to go dull really quick. If you have a pair of tweezers that are dull, you can also take them to a knife shop and get them sharpened for like $5. You don't have to disposable. Tweezers are not intended to be disposable. You can sharpen them and keep them forever if you have a good pair. But I like Tweezer Man. And I like the cute designs. And you can sanitize these. You do want to sanitize between with alcohol swabs. This, you probably only want to use one and done because you want to use it super, super sharp. All right, guys. Hope that was helpful. Any questions, shoot them here, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm Spadri, and I can answer any questions live in stories to show you more demos if you're ever curious. All right, bye.